there's a moment when you're a kid when you meet Elvis. That's a pivotal moment. You see the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show in '64.
Yeah.
What was it that you were seeing in those artists that fueled the inspiration?
Well, Elvis was like, before the Beatles, you know, my picture of Elvis was the American dream. I mean, this was a kid from the South who had broken all the rules, you know, had become his own man and sort of looked like he did, you know, whatever he wanted, whether adults liked it or not. You know, that was kind of the picture I had. And but that didn't look like something you could be to me, you know. And you know, to be Elvis, you know, no one's ever pulled that off. I mean, you'd have to be Elvis. You'd have to look like that for one thing, and you'd have to, you know, orchestras would have to come out of the shrubbery and appear on the beach. You know, like that just doesn't happen. But the Beatles, you know, that looked like something that could be done to me. Like, these people look like they're self-contained. They're making music that they wrote themselves, and the music's all there on the stage. They're playing it, and they look like they're really good friends, and they're having a lot of fun. And I'll bet they're not worried about Brad either, you know. And of course, they were so absolutely genius, you know, like they were so good even in '64 that it seemed like really hard to ever reach that kind of musicianship. But then you saw the Stones come on there not much long after that, and you went, that I can do. You know, I can do that. And
What was it that you saw in the Stones that you thought, I can do that?
well, they were grittier, you know. It was raw. They were playing blues in this really energetic kind of raw way, but it wasn't complicated. There wasn't a lot of beautiful harmony involved. This was our view of, it was sort of my punk music. It was like, that can be done, you know. And apparently, you know, tens of thousands of American musicians had the same thought at the same time. You know, you won't meet anyone my age that's playing that didn't have that thought at that time. So you literally would hear this music coming out of garages as you drove around town. You know, this little town in Gainesville, we must have had 50, 60 bands. I mean, there were so many bands and so many places to play. It was a great time, you know. Now, if you're a band, it's really tough to find places to work or places to play. It's changed so much, you know. I remember when we were a working band, like when Mudcrutch was just a working band, like we had to work all the time in order to eat, you know. And disco suddenly changed over to cats that just played records.
Right.
And the bands were out of work. And we were so insulted, like, what? You mean we've been fired for a guy that plays records, you know? But that was the first wake-up call, you know, to, wow, there's a lot of gigs being taken away. And if you want to keep working, you're going to have to get better and better and better.